Hello. So in the last session we discussed about numericals regarding free damping conditions. There are three cases to be looked upon. The first case is pertaining to zeta value. The zeta, if the value is less than 1, then it is termed to be in under damped condition. If the value of zeta is equal to 1, then it is termed to be in critically damped condition, and if the value of zeta is greater than 1, then it is termed to be as over damped condition, and zeta is nothing but the damping ratio, which is C upon Cc. That means which is coefficient of damping divided by the critical coefficient of damping. Clear? So now we will be seeing furthermore sums regarding this. So moving on to the first sum of today. Question here is write the differential equation of motion for the system that is shown in the figure and find free damped natural frequency and damping ratio. So this is the condition that is being given in the question. It is a spring mass model having a dashpot in it. As we can see, this is a rigid surface. This is a mass located at point D. Surface A at point A is a rigid surface. At point B there is a stiffener located. At point C there is a dashpot located. That means at A there is no force. At B there is a stiffener force. At C there is a damping force, and at D there will be inertia force. Clear? So this is the data that has been given. Also the angle here is theta. The displacement here at B the displacement is 2 theta. At C the displacement is 4 theta, and at D the displacement is 6 theta. That is being given in the question. This figure is being asked in the question itself. So solving it, first using the D'Alembert principle, as we are talking about free vibration, because it has been asked find free damped, so it will be free vibration. So mx double dot plus ch dot plus kx was equal to f of t, but as it is a free vibration, f of t will be equal to 0. So solving it, x double dot here will be this case, that is inertia force here at D. So it will be 6 theta into 6 theta double dot here, 6 theta into 6 theta double dot. C is at this point, dashpot is at this point, and at this point the displacement there is 4 theta. So the kx, that is ch dot, will be 4 theta into 4 theta dot plus k, that is stiffener is located at point B, and at point B the displacement is 2 theta. So it will be plus k, 2 theta into 2 theta. Now solving it, we are getting this equation, that is 36 m theta into theta double dot plus 16, that is 4 into 4 16 into c into theta dot plus 4 into k into theta square equal to 0. So this is the equation that we are getting. So now dividing by 4 on both the sides, so we are getting 9m theta double dot plus 4c theta dot plus k theta square equal to 0. Now we will be dividing by 9m theta on all these sides, then we are getting this theta double dot plus 4 by 9 c by m theta dot plus k upon 9m theta equal to 0. We are getting this equation by dividing the upper equation by 9m theta. Clear? So we are getting this equation. So now this was the term that we are getting. So now comparing this equation with, this is the generalized equation when the slope is being given. When the slope or the theta has been given, this is the generalized equation that you need to remember. The derivation is not been asked of this part. So theta double dot plus 2n theta dot plus omega square equal to omega square theta equal to 0. This is the generalized case. So just comparing these two both cases, we can see that omega square is equal to k upon 9m. Clear? So we can say that omega square equal to k upon 9m. So omega equal to under root k upon 9m. Taking this under root 9 outside, that it will be 1 by 3. So the omega value here will be 1 by 3 under root k by m. Clear? So this is the natural frequency that we were talking about. So now we need to find the damping ratio. So damping ratio, the equation is C upon Cc. C upon Cc comes out to be 2m omega. Clear? So solving it here, substituting omega equal to 1 upon 3 under root k by m here, we are getting this equation, that is 3 by 2 c upon under root mk. This is the answer of this question, that is the damping ratio was been asked. So damping ratio here comes out to be 3 by 2 c upon under root mk. Clear? Now moving on to the damped natural frequency. So damped natural frequency, that is omega d. So omega d, the equation is omega into under root 1 minus zeta square. So now we already found out the equation for omega and zeta. So substituting the value of omega and zeta here, we are getting 1 upon 3 under root k by m into under root 1 minus zeta cos 9 by 4 c square upon mk. So here we are getting the answer. First multiplying this outside case into 1. So we will be getting 1 by 9 1 to k by m minus, now substituting this term to here, we will be getting 1 by 9 k by m into 9 by 4 c square by mk. Clear? So now the final omega d here will be, this will be the term omega, so under root omega square into c square upon 4m square. This is the final term that we are getting. How we are getting this? This is the portion of omega square. So we can substitute this to be omega square. This k and k will be cancelled out. This 9 and 9 will be cancelled out. So in the upper portion only that the remaining part is c square, and in the lower part the remaining part is 4m into m. That means 4m square. Clear? So this will be the final equation that we will be getting after solving this. This was asked to find the free damped natural frequency. So this is the free damped natural frequency of the scenario that we were given upon. So moving on to the next sum, the question here is, find the natural frequency and natural period for a building frame as shown in the figure. During the test, the frame is given a 50 mm initial displacement. That means initially at the rest condition it is being displaced 50 mm. That means the initial displacement x0. If we talk about our nomenclature, then the initial displacement, that is x0, is 50 mm, and it is released from rest to vibrate. Released from rest, that means it is, the force is not applied continuously onto the system. If the force is applied only in the initial stage, and then it is free to vibrate on its own. Clear? So that means it is a sum pertaining to free vibration. Find the displacement after 5 seconds. That means we need to find x after t equal to 5 seconds, and number of cycles when the amplitude is reduced to 1/10th of maximum. That means we need to find the number of cycles that the vibration will take place when the amplitude of this frequency is reduced to 1/10th of the maximum amplitude. That means we need to find the value of x max, that is our maximum amplitude, and the 1/10th value of this we need to find the number of cycles that it undergone to go about the distance, that is 1/10th of the maximum amplitude. And it has been asked to consider 10% damping. That means it is a damped structure. So if it is a damped structure, then it is a sum pertaining to free damped condition. This is how we will be identifying which category of sum is been asked in the question. It is given as it is released from rest. That means it is a free vibration, and the damping or the damping coefficients has been given in the question. That means it is a sum pertaining to a free damped condition. And it is asked that take EI of column equal to 1.5 into 10 raised to 12 Newton mm square. EI of beam is not given. If EI of beam is not given, then we always will be assuming it to be infinity. Clear? Because we are assuming our beam to be always in rigid nature. Now this figure is given in the question. It is a portal frame, as you can see here, having an equal column of length 4 meters. It is fixed on both the columns, and the mass of 10,000 kg has been resting on it. So now first of all we will be writing the data that has been given in our question. So EI is given in the question to be 1.5 into 10 raised to 12 Newton into mm square. So for now two columns which are having fixed ends, so the stiffness, or you can say the effective stiffness, will be equal to, for both the cases, that is for both the columns, it will be 12 EI by L cube. Length is same in both the columns, so we can write it as multiplied by 2. So 2 into 12 EI by L cube. EI is already been given in the question. So solving it, we are getting an answer 562.5 Newton per mm. Now we always need to convert this value from Newton per mm to Newton per meter. We always are required to get our displacement in meters. Clear? So the answer in meters comes out to be 562.5 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter. Now moving forward, the mass of the structure is given to be 10,000 kg. So now we'll be finding the frequency. So our angular frequency, that is omega, comes out to be under root ke by m. Ke we have already identified it to be 562.5 into 10 raised to 3. Mass is given in the question to be 10,000 kg. So the value of omega here comes out to be 7.5 radian per second. So after finding omega, we have to find the natural frequency. So the natural frequency, that is f, is always equal to 1 upon 2 pi into omega. So omega we have already calculated to be 7.5. So substituting it, we are getting an answer 1.194 hertz. So this is the answer of our natural frequency. Now moving forward, we will be finding the value of our critical damping. So critical damping here is always denoted by the term Cc, and the equation for Cc is always equal to 2m omega. So here substituting the value of m, that is our mass, it is given in the equation to be 1000 kg. So 10,000 kg, so here 10,000 multiplied by omega, which we have calculated it to be 7.5. So the answer of our critical damping comes out to be 150 into 10 raised to 3 Newton second per meter. So after this, we will always be finding the value of a damping ratio, that is our zeta. Why we will need to find the value of zeta? Because we always need to prove that which of the either three cases our sum belongs to. Our sum belongs to the case 1, that is under damped condition, case 2, that is critical damped conditions, or case 3, that is over damped conditions. So the value of zeta is always equal to C upon Cc. So here, as we all know that C upon Cc is the term, C is not being given in the question, but instead of that it is already given as consider 10% damping. That means the value of zeta is already been prescribed in the question. So zeta it will be considered to be 10%, so the value of zeta equal to 0.1. And as the value of zeta is 0.1, which is less than 1, so the system is under damped. Yeah? As the value of zeta is less than 1, the system is the under damped condition. Now moving forward, we will be finding the value of our damped frequency. So damped frequency is always denoted by omega d. So omega d equal to omega under root 1 minus zeta square. Omega we have obtained to be 7.5. Zeta, it is given in the question to be 10%, so equal to 0.1. The answer here comes out to be 7.46 radian per second. Now moving forward, as we all know that it pertaining to our case number 3, that was our under damped condition. So for under damped condition, the displacement equation, or you can say the equation of motion, we have derived earlier it to be x equal to e raised to minus zeta omega t into c1 cos omega dt plus c2 sin omega dt. Clear? So now as we all know that c1 is equal to x0, we have already defined it and derived it in the earlier session. So do look at it if you are not knowing this it till now. So c1 equal to x0, that is our initial displacement, and initial displacement is given in the question to be 50 mm. So here 50 mm, but we always need to our answer to be in meters. So c1, that is equal to x0, comes out to be here 0.05 meter. Now moving forward, we will be needing to find the value of our c2. c2 was given by the equation x0 dot plus zeta omega x0 upon omega d. You can either write this equation directly if you are knowing it. If you are not knowing it, then we will be doing a derivative of this equation, that is we will be finding x dot, or you can say dx by dt. So taking the derivative of this stuff, we will be giving the answer of our c2. Clear? Either you can write by this direct equation if you are knowing it. If you are not knowing this direct equation, then you can use the derivative of this equation and we can find the value of our C2. So the C2 here comes out to be 5.026 into 10 raised to minus 3. So why so? Because here x0 dot, that means our initial velocity, and as it is released from rest, this x0 dot will be terming it to be 0. Clear? So this is our value of C2. Now we need to substitute this value of C1 and C2 in equation number A. Clear? So after we need to find the question, it is find the displacement after 5 seconds. So the t will be equal to 5 seconds. So now substituting t equal to 5 seconds in the equation A along with our values of C1 and C2. So here the answer here comes out to be x equal to e raised to minus 0.1, that was our zeta, into omega, which was 7.5, multiplied by t, which is asked in the question to be 5 seconds, into C1 was 0.05, cos omega d, that was 7.46, multiplied by t, C2 sin omega t. Now keep in mind, while solving this equation in your calculators, always use the radian mode of your calculators while solving the cos and sine functions. Clear? If you are not substituting the values in your calculators using the radian mode, then your final answer will always be mismatched than what is being displayed in the either the textbook or in the slides here. Clear? So here the value of x comes out to be 1.037 mm. That is, the displacement here comes out to be 1.037 mm. Clear? So the first answer is completed, that is to find the displacement after 5 seconds. Now we will be moving on to the second term, that is to find the number of cycles when the amplitude is reduced to 1/10th of maximum. So the first thing that we will be needing is to get the equation. So the equation that we will be using is always equal to delta. That is a logarithmic decrement equation. So delta, that will be a logarithmic decrement equal to 1 upon n ln x max upon x. X max will be our maximum amplitude and x will be the amplitude that was 1/10th. Clear? So the first thing we'll be needing to find the value of x max and our x. So x max here, that means 50 mm. It was the initial displacement that was given in the question. Here you can see that the initial displacement is given 50 mm. So that is the maximum it can go. On the initial state, the maximum that it can go is 50 mm. So now we need to identify the value of x, and it is given that we need to find amplitude that is reducing to 1/10th of maximum. The maximum is 50, so 1/10th of 50 comes out to be 5. So our x is 5. So the numerator part, that is x max, will be substituting it to be 50, and the denominator part, that is x, will be substituting it to be 5. So solving here, we need to calculate the value of n, that is our number of cycles. So first we will be needing to find the value of delta, and the equation for delta is 2 pi zeta upon 1 minus zeta square. Clear? So pi, you need to substitute as pi only, zeta as given in the question to be 0.1. So substituting everything, we are getting delta, that is a logarithmic decrement equal to 0.631. Now substituting the value of delta here, so x max and x, we will be requiring to find the value of n. So here the value of n comes out to be 3.65 cycles. Clear? Solving everything, we are getting the answer that n is equal to 3.56 cycles. So after gaining 3.56 cycles, the amplitude will be 1/10th of the maximum amplitude that has been asked in the question. Clear? So this was your second question. Now this will be the exercise problem that you need to solve it. Do solve it, because the similar types of problems have been asked in your examination continuously. And we'll be seeing the next derivative, that is forced condition, in the next session. Thank you.